Hey guys, welcome back. This week, we're going to be talking about how to put away pop-ups and high balls. So specifically, we're not going to be focused on the overhead today. That's going to be a shot for another day, but we're going to be focused on the balls specifically between your waist and your head. So everything in this range, because this is where most of the high balls are, unless we're getting lobbed or there's a really egregious pop-up. Most of the time, this is the zone that we want to be able to produce that power to put away the ball, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So in this video, we're going to focus a lot on something new. This is something we're going to use again when we're talking about drives and some of the other powerful shots in the game, but that is going to be the kinetic chain. So what that means is it's the flow of your body from beginning to end in the power production cycle. So it begins with our legs, then our hips, then our upper body, then our shoulder, then our arm, and then our wrist. That is going to be the key for producing the power you want. What you'll see a lot of people doing, and I'm going to show you guys this in a second, is putting away balls like this. Right? So there I'm only using my wrist, maybe I'm using my wrist and my shoulder, but I'm not using my whole kinetic chain. Or on the backhand like this. Right? That's just my wrist, or just my wrist and my shoulder, versus a Ben Johns who uses that full kinetic chain. So we're gonna really focus on showing you guys how to do that today. So we're gonna start from the forehand side. So the kinetic chain power production from the forehand and the backhand begin the same way. So we're gonna make sure we get in the stance that we can load our legs. And what I mean by this is if I'm tall like this, I can't bend into my shot. So I'm gonna get my legs a little bit apart, shoulder width a little bit wider. I'm going to bend, get a little bit of bend in my knees. That's step one. Step two is hip rotation, okay? So I'm not gonna go like this, but I am going to rotate a little bit. So you can see my hips turn a little bit. That's the load there. Then my shoulders, load. Then my arm loads and my wrist is tight. And now to unleash all this power, we start from the ground up. So I push, turn, throw my shoulder, throw my arm, snap my wrist. So in full speed, it kind of looks like this. Take back, swing. So it's a lot like, a really easy way to think about it if you've played other sports, a lot like how you would throw a baseball or something like that, or even throw a frisbee, right? You're gonna use that whole chain to produce that power. Guys, I have some really exciting topics coming up. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and keep coming back, keep supporting the channel. I love you guys, I love all the support, and I love our community. So I'm gonna show you guys now the two things that I see most, which is just using our wrist or just using our wrist and shoulder, and you guys will see that I'm not able to produce as much power as when I engage my legs. So I'll show you guys both ways and you can kind of see the difference. So now I'm going to engage my whole body and you'll see how much more power I can produce doing that rather than just my wrist and my shoulder. Okay, so you can easily see, this is one of the clearest demos we've done in that when I don't engage my whole body, I'm producing less than 50% of the power. So we really need to focus on that kinetic chain. Now, the forehand, that's a little bit easier. But now we're gonna jump into what I think is one of people's biggest struggles, which is the backhand. And to me, it's amazing because it's really no different, but for some reason, it's very natural to just go like this on the backhand. So instead, we're gonna think about the backhand like throwing a frisbee. So if you ever played frisbee and you wanna throw it far, you're gonna engage your body and throw it. It's the same thing here. We may not take a step, but again, we coil from the bottom up. Coil, kinetic chain are work together hand in hand, right? So legs, hips, shoulders, you can see how everything kind of turns, and then it's like that. I have that frisbee in my hand, and I'm gonna throw it. And that's how I'm able to get that power. So it's not like a flick, and it's not like a pop. It's a turn and like throw that frisbee, or even you could think of, if you wanted to throw the paddle as far as you could like this, you would go like that. So I would really let it go. And that motion, if you can let your, like, so you can see my wrist here, as long as I let it fly out open like this, like that, I can produce a lot of power. Not as much as the forehand side, because the forehand you're gonna be able to whip a little more naturally, but you can produce a ton of power on the backhand. This is the biggest jump. From low-level players to pros on the forehand side, there are some 3-5-4-0s that I know that can crush a forehand, but not many of them can crush a high backhand. So this is a shot that will absolutely up your game. So really pay attention during the demo to the differences and try to emulate them in your game. Okay guys, so first, what I see a ton of, what I want you to focus on is the turn. There's gonna be a lack of it here. It's gonna be a lot of this poking the ball rather than really unleashing. So during those, you can see how I really can't produce any power. That's because I'm only using my small muscles. The muscles in my wrist and the muscles in my forearm, significantly smaller than the muscles in my core, my legs, and my shoulder. So now we're going to engage those muscles, and you'll see an instant difference. Again, coiling back and unleashing. That's how we hit this ball hard. So one more time, focus on my follow through. See how I'm finishing out, right? I'm not going here, I'm really letting that paddle go like I'm gonna throw it. Okay guys, something I thought about talking about before, but I'm gonna let you guys scroll back a little bit in the video and take a look at on your own, is the last key, which is turning the paddle face down. The big problem a lot of people have when they hit this is they're like, when I hit it hard, it goes out. That's because if your paddle face is open like this or open like this, the ball goes linear. What I'm doing and what you can see in those clips is as I take it back, see how I turn the face and now it's pointing down? So when I hit it, the ball goes down, not out. Again, the net is not a factor because the ball is high. When the ball is high, we don't need to worry about the net. So we're gonna turn that paddle face down and hit through the ball like this. That keeps the ball in and allows us to hit it truly as hard as we physically can. And that's how we're able to put away these high balls. So there were some other things I wanted to talk about in this video, but you guys are just gonna have to wait for another week to see them. That's because I really wanted to dive deep on the technique of this. I think at any level below 5-0, but definitely 4-5, you are seeing so many balls up in this zone, and not being able to put them away is why you're probably losing a lot of these matches. So I really wanted to show you guys how I figured out at the 3-0 level I couldn't do it, and now at the pro level I can, right? So somewhere in there, I figured this stuff out on my own, and I'm giving you guys my cheat sheet for how you can produce great amounts of power, even if you don't have a tennis background or a baseball or frisbee background, right? So focus on what I was talking about, especially the kinetic chain and the coil. So those two go hand in hand, right? The kinetic chain starting from our paddle. So the backhand, it's easier to see. So I load my wrist, I load my arm, I load my shoulder, I load my core, load my hips, load my legs, right? So I coil and unleash. That's your kinetic chain, right? On the forehand, load my wrist, load my arm, shoulder, hips, legs, swing. So using all of that in tandem is going to allow us to put a lot of power into these shots. Now, what we're going to save for another time is we're going to save placement and where we should be hitting these, because that's a whole nother video. So keep coming back. I'll have that one for you soon, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button below.